Okay, so let's look at biology section B. So all answers should be in a sentence form and in paragraphs. So this section contains the 6 marks. Then out of all the questions given, so you just need to answer any three. So whenever you're picking the part to answer or the question to answer, the first thing is that we need to look at which topics are you familiar with. So for example, if you are familiar with this topic, question 9, you will find that if the only question you can explain well is define the term puberty, then these others, for example, you have A and C. So if you have um you have no data on these two, don't pick this question because it will cost you. Then from there, we need to understand that as you are answering section B, we we encourage you go with um, this topic, which is ecology. Ecology is simple in the sense that in most of the things which we do, we focus much on ecology. So it is the experience of our daily lives. You can't fail to explain about the soil fertility and the importance, um, the factors that makes the soil to be fertile. So we'll start looking at question 6. Then we'll be going each section will be having a specific question number so that we give time to explain more. So we're looking at define the term transpiration. So transpiration, we understand that transpiration, I would define transpiration according to the number of marks given. So transpiration is the loss of water vapor, the loss of water vapor from the leaves of a plant to the atmosphere. So I've defined the term transpiration. I've not described it, but I've just defined it. If I was told to describe, I would have added more information to the term transpiration and what happens to the entire part of this process. So B, so you need to number your work 6A. Then B, discuss factors that affect the rate of transpiration. So we understand that rate of transpiration rate of transpiration is how fast or slow water vapor is lost. It is affected by the following factors. So the following factors. So I've just introduced what I'm about to discuss. So factors, I'll not even put the points or the bullet. I will just start because I want to make a paragraph. So the factors, number one, we'll talk about the common factor, which you can't forget, is temperature. Now this is temperature. what I've done is that I've stated the term temperature. Now my question is saying discuss. So I'll discuss temperature now. So temperature, then I'll say the higher the temperature, the higher the temperature, the faster the rate of transpiration. This is because temperature increases the kinetic the kinetic energy the kinetic energy of water molecules to move faster. So I've discussed one factor. I've discussed one factor. Then bear in mind that I have 6 marks here. So one factor I've discussed, it means that I will obtain now 2 marks. Then the other factor, I should also discuss it in order to get another 2 marks. So from here now, the other factor, I'll talk about humidity. Now, I'll not put a bullet to show that it is a new factor, but I'll just start to make sure that it becomes as a paragraph. So humidity is also another factor which affects the rate of transpiration. So I've stated the term humidity. So I'll say now humidity. Okay, so humidity is the amount of water vapor in the atmosphere. Therefore, comma, the higher the humidity, the higher the humidity, the lower the rate of transpiration. So the higher the humidity, the lower the rate of transpiration means that humidity is inversely proportional to the rate of transpiration. So since when there is enough amount of water vapor in the atmosphere, the plants will not be forced to release um, another vapor into the atmosphere to cushion the pressure. So no wonder we are saying that the higher the humidity, the lower the rate of transpiration. But if humidity is lower in the atmosphere, the plant will lose more water vapor into the atmosphere in order to increase humidity. So this is another factor. So if you want to if you want to add more information from what I've written, you can add it the way I've explained that information. So I was saying if there is enough amount of water vapor in the atmosphere, it will not cause the transpiration rate to increase. But if water vapor in the atmosphere is very little, the plants will be forced to release water vapor into the atmosphere in order to increase the humidity. Then another factor from here, we'll look at light intensity. Light intensity. Light intensity is how bright or dim the light is, or is the dimness or brightness of light. This will either increase the rate of transpiration or reduce. The more or the higher let me just say, remember I'm making paragraphs, so I'll full stop there. Highlight intensity. Highlight intensity makes transpiration rate to be faster, and low light intensity lowers it. So to add more information, I will say light intensity increases so light intensity causes high temperature, which results in fast transpiration. So I've discussed now three factors which can help me to get all these marks given, 6 marks. The other thing I've discussed is I defined transpiration rate. So in total now, I have 8 marks. Now for me to obtain these 4 marks, explain the significance or the importance of transpiration to plants. why should plants transpire? That is our question now. So on that one, we'll say number one. So a new paragraph now. Transpiration is important to plants. Or helps plant in transpiration is important to plants um, as follows. So then we say it helps in cooling the plant. Then we explain when a plant is exposed to highlight intensity, it highlight intensity, water molecules inside becomes hot. Thereby will be lost and the plant cools down. So what you are saying is that in as much as light intensity or light energy is important to plants for the process of photosynthesis, now too much sunlight or light intensity will make the water inside the plants to become hot. As a result, that plant now, for it to cool down, water must be evaporates away from the leaves into the atmosphere, which is the process of transpiration. So when water is evaporated, or when water is evaporated, yes, then you discover that what will happen is the plant now will cool down. Then apart from that, the other importance of photosynthesis or transpiration are going to look at is the movement of water and mineral nutrients in a plant. So we say it also helps in the movement of water and mineral mineral nutrients in the plant. So this helps the plant to obtain or to get minerals from the ground. Okay, so that is how it helps the the plant to obtain minerals and water from the ground from the process of photosynthesis. Then the last point we can give at this one, we can look at keep the or keeping the cells turgid. So that's the last point to look at this one. Now, when you say keeping the the cells turgid, we are saying that when water is absorbed, the cells becomes turgid, thereby turgid, thereby keeping the shape of a plant. So the turgidity of the cells helps to maintain the posture or the structure of a plant so that the plant cannot wilt. So this is how we write essays in biology if you want to get marks without doubt. Don't stick yourself to simple explanations because maybe there is 1 mark, 2 marks. Explain so that the marker can understand, so that marks can be given without a benefit of doubt. So next, we'll look at the question 7. Question they describe the function of the main components of blood until we answer all the essay part. So essay part give us more marks compared to one word answer or a phrase like this, because here if you are stuck, if you don't know the structure, if you haven't understand the diagram, like in this part, if you don't know what is happening here, of course you're going to get everything wrong. But as you're explaining, a marker will find ways where to get the marks and supplement to your marks. So for for now we end here for this video. Then I'll also share another video on the next question. So thank you for watching, people.